Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here. Today we're going to be taking our first look at Fahrenheit 451, a book test effect by Josh Zandman. Hey everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and I'd like to thank you so much for joining me for another first look video where my job is to take a closer look at some of the latest and greatest magic effects before they even hit the shelves. And today I'm excited to announce Josh Zandman's latest book test, the Fahrenheit 451 book test. Now, in this video, I'm going to discuss with you guys some of the methods that are included in here, as well as the all new any word on any page method that Josh has included in here. But before I do any of that, let's go ahead and take a quick look at a performance of the new method. All right, have you ever read Fahrenheit 451?
I have.
Yeah? For those of us watching at home, just to refresh your memory, maybe if you haven't read it since high school, or maybe you've got the Cliff Notes version, it's like a dystopian future type thing where if you look here, you'll see there's firemen, but the firemen's job were not to put out the fires. They were actually the ones starting the fires. They used fires to burn any kind of books that were not approved by the government. I thought it would be kind of cool to do something with this book, okay? Now normally what I do is I flick through the pages like this, you say stop, I have you look at a word on the page, and then I tell you exactly what word it is that you're thinking of. But believe it or not, I've been accused of cheating. Some people think maybe I'm peeking at the book, other people think maybe I can feel right about where on the page I'm stopping, and I can kind of estimate what page I'm on. So I'm gonna put this entirely in your hands, but I want this to be as fair as possible. So what I'm gonna have you do is just flick through the pages like this. You'll stop at any page that you want, and you're gonna find a word on the page. Fair? But the word that I want you to find is a good, interesting word. I don't want you to find like an is, and, the, but, one of those words. I want you to find a good, interesting word, right? Like for example, we're here right on the very first page. Let's just say you were to look around and you saw like venomous, or kerosene, symphonies, numbered, marshmallow might be a fun, interesting word. So I want you to do that. Think of an interesting word on any page in the book. There you go. And just make sure you hold the book up so I can't see exactly what it is that you're looking at, okay? You got a word? In just a second, what I'm going to have you do is read the entire sentence that contains the word that you're thinking of. That way you got more context about where in the story you are, because I don't want you to just think of a word. I want you to visualize the story itself, okay? Go ahead.
Yep.
Done? You got your word? You're thinking of the story? Go ahead and close the book. Focus on it. You're thinking of the word sleepwalking.
Okay.
All right, so you're probably asking yourself, what makes this book test different from any other book test on the market, as well as any other book test that Josh has put out himself? If you've been following Josh's work closely over the last year or so, you've noticed that Josh has been putting out a number of book tests with this unique method that he likes to call the Holy Grail method. Now, the Holy Grail method has evolved over time, and it has changed little by little, starting with the 1984 book test and now culminating with this Fahrenheit 451, where in my opinion, this is probably the most streamlined version of the method. The original variation of the method required the magician to memorize 20 different long words, and this version requires you to memorize 8. And that's only if you want it to be a completely fair choice of any page. What you could also do is you could tell them to look at just the left page or just the right page, and now you only have to memorize 4 words if you do that. Now, I highly recommend you memorize all 8 because it makes this super fair. But this is really how it goes. It's so simple. You have the spectator flip to any page that they want. This isn't a force. You have them look for any word on the page that they want, and of course you want to tell them to look for a word that stands out to you. Not like an is, and, the, but, short 3 or 4 letter word. You want them to find a good word. So they're looking at a word now. And now all you're going to do is tell them, I want you to read the entire sentence in your mind that contains the word that you're thinking of and visualize an image of what is going on. This is going to give you a little bit of context about the word and give me something more to work with when it comes to me trying to figure out which word it is that you're thinking of. So the spectator reads the sentence in their mind, they close the book, and you immediately know exactly which word it is that they're thinking of. You don't have to ask them a single question. There's no fishing, no forcing, no guessing. They don't write anything down. You don't have to peek at anything. It really is just that clean. They open to a random page in the book. They look at any word on any page in the book, and they just have to read the sentence in their mind that contains the word that they're thinking of, and they close the book, and you reveal the word for them. It really is that easy. That is the all new any word on any page method, the method that we just saw in the performance. Now, there are 4 other methods in here as well, including the original Zandman book test method, where you flip through to any page, have the spectator look at the first word on the page, and then you can tell them exactly what word it is that they're thinking of, right? So again, no fishing or forcing or guessing or anything. It's a completely fair choice at a page. You can stop anywhere. You look at the first word there, and I know just right off the bat that you're thinking of the word even. How do I know that? Because the book is telling me. I don't have to do anything extra. I don't have to ask a single question. The book literally tells me exactly which word it is. Now, this is what I like to call lightly examinable, right? You cannot hand it to a spectator and let them read it as if they were reading a full novel from cover to cover. But at a glance, they can flip through. So one of the first things the spectator thinks is, as I'm flipping through, maybe the first word on every page is the same, but you can show them that they're all different by flipping through just like this. There are no duplicated words repeating over and over again when you do this Zandman book test method. And it really is, again, it's a fair choice. You could say stop there, and they could say, no, we want you to keep going. Right there is okay. Look at the first word there, right? And you can immediately tell them exactly which word it is that they're thinking of. So that's the original Zandman book test method. Now, another method is, instead of having them look at the first word on the page, you can have them look at the last word on the page. And instead of having one spectator think of a word, you can have multiple spectators think of a word. So you could take the book, toss it out into the audience, and let 5 different spectators each flip to a random page, look at the last word on the page, close the book, hand it to another spectator. So now you have 5 different people, each thinking of a word from the book. Have all 5 of them stand up, close their eyes, imagine their words right before their eyes, and you point to each individual spectator, naming the words that they're thinking of. And you simply say, if I got your word right, please go ahead and have a seat. And all 5 spectators will have a seat. And it really is that easy. You don't have to memorize anything to do this. If you can memorize 5 words, it makes it stronger, but theoretically speaking, you don't have to memorize anything to do what I just told you. There's another method called the reverse book test, where you can introduce a second book into the mix, and now you can read the spectator's mind using 2 different books. The spectator could be standing on the other side of the room, their back could be to you, you're not peeking in anything, the page is completely freely picked from the book, right? And you're still able to tell them the word it is that they're thinking of in the book. So the reverse book test is very powerful as well, and it also gives you an opportunity to add a second book to this. And I just want to be clear, that second book can be any book. It doesn't have to be a gimmick. It doesn't have to be a Zandman book. It could be any book that you like. It doesn't have to be a specific book. It doesn't have to be another copy of Fahrenheit 451. In the tutorial, which, by the way, spoiler alert, I'm the one doing the tutorial for you guys. So if you enjoy listening to my voice and seeing my beautiful face, you're welcome. But in the tutorial, I use like one of my wife's mental health books. She's a therapist. So I use like one of her mental health books that she uses with her work and whatever. And that's the book that I use along with this. So it really can be any book that you want. Now, last but certainly not least, one of my favorite book test methods of all time is going to be the Pegasus page method. And what is a Pegasus page? Basically, what you're going to do is you're going to have the spectator choose a random page, right? And there's a couple ways that Josh teaches this. He uses a bookmark here, and let me try to get a little bit closer up so you guys can see. It's a really cool looking little bookmark. It's a prop from the Fahrenheit 451, right? It says, Fireman Guy Montag, Fire Chief. This service card certifies that the holder of this card is an active fireman and has the power to confiscate and destroy banned material. In the universe of this book, firemen are not putting out fires, they're actually using fire to destroy, right? So it's kind of interesting, kind of a dystopian sort of thing. But basically what you would do is you would flip through, right? You would have the spectator stop at any page that they like, or you can mark the page that you want them to stop on with the bookmark. That's probably the easiest way to do it. That's the self-working method. The other method to have them stop at the page that you want them to stop at does take a little bit more practice, but nothing crazy. So they're gonna choose a page, they're gonna choose a word on that page, and then when you close the book, something incredible is gonna happen. You are going to produce the page that they're thinking of. So let's just say they were thinking of page 91. You're gonna open up the page and ask them what word they were thinking of. You're then gonna reveal that the word that they're thinking of is now circled on the page. And then when you go back through the book, so that's page 91. So I'm flipping through just like this to page 91. Wait a minute, page 90, 93. You open the book and you reveal, I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera or not, page 91 is completely missing. And then when you go to put that page in the book, not only is it the same page that they were thinking of, but it is actually the page that they were thinking of because it fits perfectly inside of the pages. And just the Pegasus page plot is so cool. You can produce this page from anywhere. This can appear inside your wallet, your pocket, your shoe, in the back of the room, inside of someone's bag. It doesn't matter where you want the page to appear. You can make that page appear without having to do any extra work because it's all set up from the start. So it's super cool, so much fun to perform. What do you receive inside the set? You receive the book, you receive the bookmark, you receive the Pegasus page. You also receive a PDF digital copy with a bunch of additional information and little tips and tricks and hints and cheats for you guys to make this as powerful as possible. Again, on behalf of myself and on behalf of Josh Zandman, thank you for watching this first look video. If you guys have any questions for me, you're welcome to go ahead and leave a comment in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions that you have. If you guys have any questions for Josh, or if you want to join a community of people that own a bunch of Zandman book tests that you can bounce ideas off of and whatnot, I would highly recommend joining the Zandman book test group on Facebook. Josh is in there, I'm in there, and like I said, a whole community of people that just love the Zandman book test that would love to share their ideas with you and answer any questions that you have about any of Josh's book tests. At the time of making this video, I don't even know how many book tests he has now, at least 20, maybe 30 books. So you can pick any of Josh's book tests and you can't go wrong with them. They're all incredible. But this one so far is one of my newest favorites because it has the Pegasus page method. The book itself is really cool. The cover is beautiful. I'll let you guys have a closer look at that there. And the Holy Grail method, that any word on any page method, is absolutely killer. It's self-working. You don't have to do anything. You just have to memorize 8 words. If you can do that, you have a miracle here to perform. But anyway, I'm Michael O'Brien. Thank you so much for watching today's first look. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.